Hey, it's Tori. Welcome back to another video. Thank you for hanging out with me today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my favorite red nail polishes, inspired by Polish with Ray here on YouTube. She has done almost every color I can think of. She goes through and talks about her favorites, and I have been inspired to do that with my collection. So I will put her info down below. Be sure to check out her videos. She has done so many fun ones. It gives me an idea just to go through my collection and do the same. All of the info for these will be listed below. I know some of these are going to be harder to find than others. I will also mention one of these I think is kind of more of a boutique-y brand than indie, so I will kind of put that one there in the middle. I will insert photos if I have them. I don't know that I have photos for everything. I know one of these in particular was a pedicure polish, and I don't think I have photos, but if I don't, you'll see a swatch of it. So the first one is a mainstream. This is China Glaze. This one is Red Pearl. I have talked about this polish so many times. This is one I have a fill line on. It's roughly probably about down to here. I have had issues where I think it's gotten a little thick on me. I need to clean the neck of the bottle. I know that. This is a polish I bought at Sally Beauty well over 10 years ago. I got it to take to the nail salon with me, I think. I'm not really sure. This is a beautiful polish. It is a gorgeous red pearlized finish. Absolutely beautiful. I don't wear this one enough. I don't care for the brushes on China Glaze bottles, so I try to change them out. Luckily, this one I actually did change out. If you're curious, so here is the brush I have. This is a brush from an Orly polish. Orly brushes work beautifully for China Glaze bottles. They are longer than KB Shimmer, which allows for easier application. KB Shimmer falls a little bit short for me personally, so I do recycle Orly polishes that I don't want or that are old and you can't salvage or whatever. I clean the brush off and put it in my China Glaze. So that's what I did with most of my China Glaze bottles. That is a beautiful shade. I haven't worn it for a while. Do want to try to pull it out for this season since it is, you know, Christmas season. I want to try to wear that one. Next up, this one was a surprise. This is Orly's Haute Red. I got this at TJ Maxx, I believe. This is absolutely beautiful. It is like a cherry red cream. Formula is phenomenal with this one. This is beautiful. I believe I've only wore it once. I wore it in conjunction with like a Skittle Manny, so that's the picture you'll see, but this is absolutely a beautiful polish. Formula's fantastic on this one. Opaque in 2 coats, almost a 1-coater. Absolutely beautiful. It is that perfect like cherry red cream. If you find it, pick it up. It's gorgeous. Another red cream. I've had this one in my collection for probably about 4 years. This is Essie's Adrenaline Brush. This one's a little bit more of like that orange leaning red, but the formula for this one is top notch. I reach for it if I want a red base for a shimmer or flaky. You guys know I love combos, and that is generally what I do with shimmers and flakies. I layer. So this is a staple in my collection. Didn't get a huge amount of use out of it when I first got it. Didn't know if I liked it, but it is one I've reached for I don't know how many times in the past couple months. It's a great polish. This is still available, I think. I got it on clearance. I don't know how much I paid for it, but I was trying to get back into nail polish, and that was a great way to get an Essie on clearance. That's a beautiful shade. This next one is another favorite. Absolutely gorgeous. This is Orly's Monroe's Red. This is also in that line of like a cherry red polish. The only difference between this and Haute Red, this one in Monroe's Red has a little bit of shimmer. It is very hard to see unless you really get good lighting and, you know, then you can see it. On the nail, you don't really see it unless you have sunlight or, you know, room light or whatever, but this is absolutely gorgeous. I love this. I wore it over the summer and fell in love with it. It's so beautiful. When I wore it. It was a beautiful sunny day, got great photos. You could really see that shimmer pop with that polish. So next up is a cult classic. This is Big Apple Red from OPI. I believe this is an older bottle. Their labels, I think, look a little different than this one. I don't know if I got this. I don't think I got it at TJ Maxx. I think I had to order it. I had a mini bottle of this from a OPI like gift set a couple years ago. Don't like the mini bottles. It makes application almost impossible, and I knew I liked the color, so I wanted to go ahead and get a big bottle of it. I ordered it online, I want to say. This one is kind of along the lines of Ghourd Red. So you can see here, they are kind of similar. In person, they're a little bit different. I feel like Ghourd Red from OPI Big Apple Red's a little bit more like an orange red, possibly. But this is a great polish. I have wore it a handful of times, I think, for just a red manicure. I love this one. Next is another cult classic. This is Morgan Taylor's Good Gossip. This is a beautiful red shimmer. Look at this. Look at that gorgeousness. This is absolutely beautiful. I have not wore this in about a year. Had a chance to wear it last Christmas. I had just had hand surgery, so application was a little tricky. This is a little thin formula-wise. It's definitely a 3-coater, but it builds up really beautiful on the nail. Goes on to be a little bit more of like that pinky base. So if you're familiar with, what is it? China Glaze Ruby Pumps. These two are very, very similar. I have a comparison video coming. You guys will see that tomorrow, I think, so it'll go up before this does. But they are very, very similar polishes. I've only just now wore China Glaze Ruby Pumps. It's what I have on in this manicure, so I didn't include that in this video because I just started wearing it. It is a gorgeous polish. I did have the gel polish version of this years ago, and I knew I loved that. So I wanted to get the nail polish version. So on to one boutique polish. I think this is boutique. It's not really indie. These are, I think, $10. This is ILNP's Say Love. This is a really beautiful, juicy jelly with holographic glitter in it. This is a polish I picked up probably 2 years ago when I was kind of trying to dip my toe into this brand. This is beautiful. It is at least a 3-coater. The last time I wore this, I only did 2 coats, and I felt like I didn't like that it was still a little squishy looking. I might even try and put this over top of a red base just to see how I like that, just to play around with it. But it is so beautiful. So the photos you see are probably only going to be 2 coats. That's what I vaguely remember. I only ever put 2 coats on, and I've learned to make sure I remember to do 3 coats the next time I wear that. So moving on to the indies. I don't have a picture of this particular polish. It was a pedicure polish, only I've never used it on my fingers, but if I could find one somewhere online or I have a swatch of it, I will insert that. So this is Different Dimensions Passion. This is a beautiful jelly base that has, I think there's holographic flakes in here. Yeah, there's holographic flakes. This is a brighter, almost like tomato-y red. This is really beautiful. I wore it sometime, and I can't remember when I wore it. I used it as a pedicure, and I did 3 coats. I do think this one has the traditional not-so-great brush. I do need to change it out. This one actually is changed out, so there is a KB Shimmer paddle brush in this one. This is a really pretty polish. This is another one I think I will try doing like a layering technique with it first. I don't know that you can get this. I don't think so. I don't think you can find this anywhere, and I don't have any recommendations for something similar, but it is a really beautiful polish. I loved how it looked on my toes for the summertime. It was such a beautiful red. Would make a great polish for this time of year as well. Next up is probably one of my favorites. I have seen a few people talk about this polish recently. Polish with Ray talked about it, and then Lacquerography had recently shared it in a video that she posted. This is from the brand Polish, and this is There's No Place Like Home. This was a PPU polish for February 2023. This is a gorgeous glowy shimmer, has that pinky base to it, and then you've got this beautiful shimmer throughout. I've worn this, I think, only over top of a base color. I don't think I've built this up on its own. I believe it's a 3-coater on its own. I wore it over a red base and then put a layer of this over top of that, and I loved how it looked. I am a big fan of red shimmer polishes. Have more than I probably need in my collection, but I gravitate towards those red shimmers, and they're just top favorites of mine. Another favorite, I wore this last Christmas. This is Until the Last Petal Falls from Rogue Lacquer. This is very similar to ILNP Say Love. Bases are a little bit different. This is a red jelly, and it has holographic flakes. I wore this for a holiday type Skittle manicure, and oh my goodness, I didn't want to take it off, but this is beautiful. I almost pulled it to wear this year, but again, I'm trying to show some love to some other polishes. I got this from Hella Handmade Creations, by the way. This is gorgeous, absolutely stunning. Takes 3 coats to build up, definitely is squishy. You could even put this over an undie or like a blurring base, something like that. This is beautiful. Then we have this one from Wildflower Lacquer. I wore this for 4th of July this year and fell in love. This is Hearts Aflame from her Jeweled collection. This is a beautiful red base with holographic flakes. I will say, when I swatched all of these polishes together, this one looked to be a little bit more orangey red than what I thought it was when I wore it. I don't know if the color has changed or if that's just because of my swatch wheel. In the photos, it looks red. It looks to be a beautiful red base. I believe I did 2 to 3 coats. I loved it. Absolutely gorgeous, and I wanted to make sure to add this one to this video because it is so pretty. It's just so stunning. Gorgeous polish. Formula is 2 to 3 coats, but it's beautiful nonetheless. So gorgeous. You get the twinkling from the holographic flakes. It is beautiful. Next up, I believe Polish with Ray shared this one as well. This is Centaur of Attention from Bluebird Lacquer. This was a rewind polish for 2022. This is a very deep, almost like Merlot red base with linear hollow pigment in it. This is a beautiful polish. You can see that gorgeous rainbow shift in the bottle. I wore this 2 years ago, and it's a great, great polish. The formula is fantastic with this. I will say it is a stainer. I put this on before I had hand surgery in 2022, and my nails had an orangey red tint to them, and I'm like, oh no, I can't go into surgery with nails looking like that. Luckily, a light buff with a buffing block took it right out, no issues whatsoever, but it definitely did stain. So when I wear it, I will try to triple up a base coat. If not, maybe put something underneath to kind of help the staining. And lastly is another cult classic. This is Wildflower Lacquer's Perhaps a Christmas Ghourd. This is, I believe she brought this back because I picked it up when it originally released in November 2022. I believe it came back for rewind for last year, I think. This is gorgeous. It is a beautiful red. You've got that fiery, glowy shimmer in here. You could see here on the edge of the bottle. Had some horrible staining with this, and I'm a little hesitant to try it again because of the staining. And I'm like, do I want to try it? I don't know that I'll reach for it for this time of year at this point because I am gearing up for hand surgery and I'm trying to get everything worn that I have chosen, and I didn't want to pull this one again since I have wore it. I'm trying to do, ones I haven't worn, but this is a beauty. Absolutely gorgeous. This did stain quite a bit for me, so I did have to take a buffing block and do a light buff. That is everything. That is my top favorites. Let me know if any of these are your top picks as well. Hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that your holiday season is off to a great start. I cannot believe Christmas is around the corner. By the time you guys see it, we're going to be even closer to Christmas. But yeah, the year is going by very, very quickly. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.